Week 4 was very interesting. Acosta gets a late winner for Chicago Fire from midfield. Suarez scores 2 goals for Miami and leads them to a W without Messi. And then there was 6 red cards throughout the whole week 4. Why was there so many? And a lot of those were in the first like 4 or 5 matches of the week. What is going on there in week 4? But here we are, week 5. A lot of guys on international duty, so it's going to be very hard to predict this week. Did not have the best week for week 4, probably one of my worst weeks in predictions, but hopefully we can make up for it here in this week. With international duty, it might be hard, but we'll start off with the New England Revs versus the Chicago Fire. In the last 3 matches, the Revs are 1 draw and 2 losses in their last 3, with Chicago 1 win and 2 losses in their last 3. The probability is pointing to Chicago because the Revs have not won at home yet. But Shaqiri is gone for Chicago because of international duty. The Revs have to start somewhere, and I think they start here. I think the Revs win this game at home at Gillette Stadium 1-0 over Chicago Fire. Next up, we have the Red Bulls versus Inter Miami. Currently, Red Bulls in their last 3 matches, 2 wins and a loss. They're looking pretty good. Inter Miami, 2 wins and a loss in their last 3 matches. Again, I don't think that Messi's coming back because he is not going to international duty. I did not see him on that, so I think that he is still injured. Red Bulls have a few people leaving and going on international duty. Yes, they have won at home this season, but sometimes, mostly, they don't always perform well at home. And the probability is in Inter Miami's favor, but it's hard to go off of that because not all of the players are there because of international duty. But I think that Inter Miami go on the road, and I have to stick with that probability. I think Inter Miami win this match 2-0 over the Red Bulls. Next up, we have Charlotte FC versus Columbus Crew. Currently in their last 3 matches, Charlotte 1 draw and 2 losses, where Columbus 2 wins and a draw. Columbus are just moving right along. They're picking up where they left off, winning the MLS Cup last season. They're looking good. They've only drawn on the road so far this season. Charlotte has won their only match at home. But I don't think that they win this match against Columbus. Columbus are just on another level. Yes, they might have a few going out for international duty, like I said, with that happening. But I have to say, Columbus go on the road. They don't get the win, but they do walk away with a point. I think that it ends in a 1-1 draw there in Charlotte. So that leads us to the other Ohio team. We have FC Cincinnati versus NYCFC. Currently, Cincinnati are 1 win, 1 draw, and 1 loss in their last 3 matches. NYCFC 1 win and 2 losses in their last 3 matches. They've lost both matches away. New York City have. Cincinnati have only drawn at home so far at TQL Stadium. But I think that is going to change here with them playing at home. They only lose 1 player, and that is Miles Robinson due to international duty. So I think that they stand up there at home and win over NYCFC 2-1 at TQL Stadium. Next up, we have Orlando City versus Austin FC. Currently, Orlando City have not lost. They haven't won in their last 3 matches, all losses. Austin have drawn all 3 of their last 3 matches. Austin has only drawn on the road. Orlando has drawn and lost at home. So a lot of it goes, I feel like a lot of this will go to Austin, but I don't think that that's going to happen. I don't think Austin goes on the road and wins. This could be an upset this week. I think that Austin possibly could, but I don't think it happens. I think that they do, though, walk away with a point with another draw, and I think that it ends in a 2-2 draw there in Orlando. So that takes us to Toronto versus my Atlanta United. Toronto, 2 wins and a loss in their last 3 matches. Atlanta, 2 wins and a loss in their last 3 matches, currently on a 2-match winning streak. My biggest issue, they're losing a bunch of players. Almada's gone. and Giacomakis is gone for international duty, and we have a handful of other guys like Caleb Wiley. So a lot of starters for Atlanta will be gone this weekend. So it's going to be a tough one for Atlanta, and they have only lost on the road, which that was week 1 against Columbus. Toronto have won their only match at home. They aren't losing very many guys. I don't think they're losing anybody, if I remember correctly. I just think that with Atlanta losing a lot of their starters in this match, I think this gives Toronto an opportunity to take this one to them. I think the Toronto win. I'm trying to be realistic here because I really want Atlanta to win, obviously, because that is my team. But I think Toronto are going to win this match 3-1 over Atlanta United. Moving on, we have Vancouver Whitecaps versus Real Salt Lake. Currently, the Whitecaps 2 wins and a draw in their last 3 matches. Real Salt Lake 1-1-1 in their last 3 matches. Vancouver have only drawn at home so far this season. Real Salt Lake have lost and drawn away so far this season. The win probability is in favor of Vancouver. Neither team, I think Vancouver loses Picault. Real Salt Lake loses Luna for international duty, and I think there's 1 or 2 others for each side. But to me, no one that's going to make a huge impact on the game. But with Vancouver being at home, I think that they're going to get the job done here. I think that we're going to see 5 goals in this match. This is going to be one of my higher goal scoring games for the week. I think Vancouver win 3-2 over Real Salt Lake. Next up, we have Sporting Kansas City versus LA Galaxy. I think this is going to be one of the better matches for the weekend. Currently, Sporting Kansas City, a win and 2 draws in their last 3. LA Galaxy, the same thing, win and 2 draws in their last 3. Sporting Kansas City, though, won their last game. LA Galaxy had a draw. Sporting are 1 win and 1 draw at home. LA Galaxy are 1 win, 1 draw on the road this season. LA Galaxy, to me, are looking a lot better than what they did last year. Sporting Kansas City, up in the air a little bit for me. I think that they should be doing better than what they are. The probability for this match is leaning towards the Galaxy because they are averaging 2.5 goals away, where Sporting are only averaging 1.5 goals, but they're only allowing a goal, where Galaxy are allowing 1.5 goals when they're away. I think I'm going to have to go with those statistics because neither team really losing anybody. Sporting Kansas City, I think, are losing Vargas for international duty, but I have to say the Galaxy are going to go on the road and win this match 2-1 over Sporting Kansas City. So next up, we have St. Louis City versus DC United. Currently, St. Louis are a win and 2 draws in our last 3 matches. I can't talk. DC United, 2 draws and a loss in their last 3 matches. St. Louis have won 1 and drawn 1 at home. DC United have only drawn away. So that's not good, not bad for them. But I think that this one, I don't think either team's losing a lot of guys for international duty. So it's going to be the regular squad. I want to see St. Louis pick it back up. I know that they're not the same team as last season. People caught on to their tactics and stuff. But I feel like St. Louis should be better than what they are. Yes, they are currently sitting 5th in the West, but I think that they should be just a little bit better. I want to see more from them and score more goals. They're only averaging 1.5 goals at home. It was probably more than that last season. But I think, though, that they still will get the dub there at home against DC United, but it's going to be a very low-scoring game. I think it's going to end in a 1-0 win for St. Louis. Now we have Colorado Rapids versus Houston Dynamo. Currently, Colorado are 1 win and 2 draws in their last 3. Houston are 1-1-1 in their last 3 matches. This is Dynamo's first game on the road, where Colorado have only drawn 1 there at home. That's the only game that they've played at home. Colorado, I think, are starting to find themselves. I know that they drew last week against Seattle. They won the week before against Real Salt Lake. Dynamo, they're losing Karskia for international duty, and I think both of them are losing a couple guys. I think Colorado's losing Navarro for international duty. But I think that Colorado are going to get their first home win in this match and another low-scoring game. I think that they win this match 1-0 over the Houston Dynamo. Staying out there in the West, we have LAFC versus Nashville SC. LAFC are kind of struggling. 1 draw, 2 losses in their last 3 matches. Nashville 1-1-1 in their last 3 matches. Nashville have only drawn on the road. LAFC, though, have won 1 and drawn 1 there in LA. This one was a tough one. The probability is that this game is going to end in a draw. I don't think either team's losing a lot of people there for the international duty on these teams. So I think that we're going to have a good match. I think this is going to be one of the better matches for the weekend with international duty upon us. I think, though, Nashville will go on the road here and get a point. I think that this match ends in a 1-1 draw there in LA. Next up, we have the Portland Timbers versus Philadelphia Union. Both of these teams are losing a good amount of players. So I think that if this was both full squads, I think that this would probably be the best matchup of the weekend. But because they have international duty, I don't think that that's going to happen. It's going to be a very close game with a lot of guys not there. It's just the benches are going to be smaller and all that because of the amount of guys each team has off for international duty. But currently, Portland are 1-1-1 in their last 3 matches. Philadelphia Union is struggling a little bit. 2 draws and a loss in their last 5. With those Champions Cup games, they're not playing up to their usual Philadelphia Union standards that we usually see with them. So we'll see if that turns around for them or not. They have drawn both of their games that they have played on the road. Portland are 1 win and a draw in their first 2 games at home there at Providence Park. It's always hard to go into Providence Park and win, but I do think that the Union, even with a lot of their starters gone and key players gone for international duty, they do have a couple left over, and I think that they go on the road, get a point here at Providence Park, and that match ends in a 1-1 draw. So for our final match of Match Day 5, we have San Jose Earthquakes. I don't know what's going on. Again, Seattle Sounders. Also, I don't know what's going on. They should be doing better than what they are. San Jose, 3 losses in their last 3 matches. Seattle, 2 draws and a loss in their last 3 matches. I really want to root for the Earthquakes, but I don't know what's going on out there in San Jose. They are just not doing very well. Have lost both of their matches at home so far this season. Seattle, a draw and a loss away this season so far. There's not much to say about this. I don't think that this is going to be a fantastic game just because both teams are struggling so far this season. But I do think that Earthquakes lose again at home. I think that Seattle Sounders go on the road and win 2-0 over the Earthquakes. So that is it for the video. Please give it a thumbs up. Tell me your predictions down below, and we will see you for the live stream this weekend.